So the big question is, how do health experts like you and I generate more income, impact more people, and create businesses that work around their lifestyle and serve their family at the highest possible level? If you want the answer to that question, then you're in the right place at the right time. Whether you're a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a nutrition coach, this is for you. My name is Dr. Javier Carlin, and I want to welcome you to the Practice Revolution. We are a movement that is revolutionizing the way private practices are built so you can practice on your terms. So go ahead and join us and follow along as we learn, apply, and share the top business growth strategies that we're using to grow our own business and to help you grow yours, using only the best insights and advice from top industry leaders. So thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Super excited to be here with you today. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Javier Carlin. I'm a physical therapist by trade with the co-founder of the Practice Revolution, Marissa Carlin, who's a dietitian. And we're here in the Business Growth Secrets for Health Pros and Wellness Coaches every Tuesday, training you on all things marketing, sales, business growth, client delivery, all the good things. And sometimes we bring in some very special guests. So today we have Dr. Kylie. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Super excited for today. So Dr. Kylie Burton, she is a chiropractor by degree who transitioned into functional medicine. And she has become the normal lab expert, helping thousands of individuals with seemingly impossible health struggles to find answers, healing, and hope using their normal blood work as a guidance. So Kylie was able to transition from her brick and mortar practice, is 100% online, and now has a global impact. And one of the ways that she's been able to grow her business exponentially has been through virtual events. And so that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. So Kylie, again, super excited to have you here today. Is there anything I missed? Anything else that people should know about you before we get going?
I'm probably like your audience, where they want more freedom of time, more freedom of location, more financial freedom. And when you go virtual and you do it right, you get it all.
Ooh, mic drop. I love that.
That's why I said you got to do it right first. Yes. We're going to teach you how to do it right.
Yes, let's hear it, Kylie. I'm excited to see your perspective on how to do this right so that everyone else can do it right too.
Okay, do you want me to just jump into the live workshops, or walk you through kind of what I've done with them in the past?
Let's walk through, like, tell us a little bit more about like your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so 2018, I graduated chiropractic school in 2017. So not too long ago.
Okay.
March of 2017, the same day I graduated, hours later, I went into labor. So mom and doctor at the same time. And it was like at that moment where I realized if I want to be a mom, I can't do the whole 40, 50, 60 hours a week at a brick and mortar practice, cracking backs and necks and running people in like a sewing machine or something like that. So I had to do things differently from the get-go. And I was one of those people that did not want to do the whole associate thing. I was just going to go jump off the cliff and build my wings on my way down. So in 2018, I started my first practice. It's a brick and mortar practice here in Utah, which, by the way, is not open to chiropractic. It's not open to physical or alternative medicine, let alone functional medicine. We are the last resort. And coming from Portland, Oregon, where I went to school, there's a chiropractor and a naturopath on every freaking corner. People go there first before they go to their Western medicine primary care doc. So it's a very different world. I knew what I was coming back to because I grew up here. But I also knew that I wanted to have this brick and mortar practice that allowed moms to come in and drop their kids off at the daycare right there at the practice and get the treatment that they need. That's what I thought I wanted in 2018. Flash forward to 2019. The way I got all of my people in was I would host workshops once a month or once a quarter at local conference rooms and hotels. I'd rent out a little conference room for $75 an hour or something, and use a little bit of Facebook ads to get word out there about this in the surrounding locations. I would teach a little bit about hormones, or teach something about just some type of functional medicine that would introduce people to the concepts. Introduce them to, hey, there's a reason why. Let's find out the why, not just jump in and take the Band-Aid. And the Band-Aid can be pharmaceuticals, and people hate this, especially our world. The Band-Aid can be supplements as well. How many times have I heard, well, I have a thyroid problem, so my naturopath or my alternative medical physician of some sort gave me a supplement that supports my thyroid. It's the same thing, it's just a natural version of it versus a pharmaceutical. So let's not even walk down that road. But I would introduce them to these in a live workshop. And I found out that I like to teach. I like to get up in front of people and teach this stuff. 2019, I got pregnant with my second, and my pregnancies are very rough. So the first 3 months, I'm doing everything I can to just not throw up. And I decided, it was like September, October of that year, I was just going to call it quits on the brick and mortar. So I called up the owner of my facility. I said, I'm going to be out in 2 weeks. I'm going to just do this whole entire virtual thing. I'm going to figure it out. So in 2 weeks, we were gone. 4 or 5 months later, the world flips on a dime. I was already virtual. So it did a lot of benefit for me, because now all of a sudden everybody knew what Zoom was. Everybody was comfortable with telemedicine. And when I got out of I only have to treat locally, the world opened up. So if you want to talk about impact many lives, thousands of lives. I mean, I was talking to somebody in Europe yesterday because they heard me on the podcast. Like, your impact is so much greater when you get out of the local market. Not to mention, your bank probably will enjoy it too. So I went virtual. Also figured out that a lot of people have issues, but they don't have money to pay for the expensive functional medicine labs. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on functional medicine labs. I wasn't attracting the clients who were willing to do that. And I say that very, very carefully. The people I was attracting were the people like me, because that's who we attract. And they didn't have excess amount of money or funds or time. So I was like, how can I get the best patient results with what they already have? And I figured out a way to read the blood work that they already have and make it unique, so that it wasn't like I was reading the blood work to diagnose. Otherwise, I was going to get the same results as their primary care doc, who just keeps telling them that their blood work is normal. But it was a way of reading their labs to figure out, how do we go from unhealthy to healthy? So I had this podcast, which was the best thing I've ever done for my business, outside of live workshops. The two of them go hand in hand. I started talking about the blood work on my podcast. And I started talking about how I'm now virtual. Well, because of March of 2020, now I had a lot of colleagues reaching out. How are you reading the blood work? How are you doing the virtual thing? So let's teach you how I did it.
I love it. Oh, that was a smooth transition. I'm excited. Let's hear it.
Okay. So remember how I said I would do workshops in hotel conference rooms. All I did was I would take the same workshop and move it to the virtual platform, Zoom.
Simple enough.
Okay.
Yep.
So I have a guide. I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see some visual. The way I did it was, I had hardly any funds. So it was like, no ads. I'm just going to put myself out there on social media. I had a podcast at the time that I started in July of 2020. Yeah, July of 2020. So that's how I would get everybody in. I would just take my tiny, and you might think I have a huge social media following. I didn't. I still don't. I just had the right people in that social media. So I would take them and I would invite them into a live workshop. Now here's the first step. you need to specify a time and a topic for your live event. So say you are a specialist in the keto diet and you want to host a 60-minute live workshop where they not only learn the 3 myths about keto, but what they can do tomorrow to become more blood sugar savvy. Okay, so make it very, very intriguing and make it worth their while. Specify a time and a topic. This is the hardest part for us practitioners because it's scary. Wait, you're telling me that I have to go live on Zoom and I have to actually like identify a time to do it? Yep. And what I would do in last year in 2022, I did 4 3-day challenges. I would do them every 4th week of the month. So January, the 4th week of the month, I would do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday would be my gig is the blood work. So I would teach them a few markers inside their CBC, which is what I would do here. On Tuesday, I would teach them a few markers of the metabolic panel and how that can correlate with adrenal fatigue, leaky gut. Then on Wednesday, we would talk about, quote, bad cholesterol. So that was just my expertise that I would take to the virtual platform. You would take your expertise to the virtual platform. And you might be thinking, well, I'm a chiropractor. I've been cracking backs and necks my whole life. I don't really know anything else. Yes, you do. You're a doctor for a reason. Like, don't forget all the other stuff you've learned. But even if it's nutrition. Okay, so every single month, I would do this 3-day virtual workshop. I would do it 60 minutes for each day. And then at the end of it, and at the end of every single one, I would do it where I would give a call to action. And we'll get to that in a minute. But before we get to that, we got to figure out how the heck are we going to get people to the live workshop. So that's step 2. Once you've identified a time and a topic, you're going to start promoting your event. So my rule is promoting it 10 days beforehand. Send it out to your email list, send it out to social media, put a sign in your office. If you have a brick and mortar practice, you can invite your current patients into this virtual platform. So you're taking your current clientele, moving them into a virtual option as well. So you can do both. Okay, so 10 days beforehand, start talking about it. But then really go hard 1 to 3. That's what I found is like the hot timeline. And you'll see this on my social media when I'm promoting things. I'll start talking about it. Like right now, I'm starting to talk about an event happening on the 23rd. And I'm really going to hit it hard the few days beforehand. Because people on social media, yes, it's all about small businesses now, but they don't want to just feel like they're constantly being sold to. So do what I call the 30-30-30 rule, where 30% of the time it's fun, interactive posts, 30% of the time it's promoting my business, 30% of the time it's educational. So there's your timeline. Then step 3, here's the fun technology part. I get a lot of practitioners like myself and Javier and Marissa where they're worried about the tech side. They're worried about going virtual because they're not that techie. I'm not either, but you can do it. I'm also an introvert. And I get a lot of people saying, well, I'm an introvert. I don't like getting on social media. Look, if you have dreams, you got to step out of your comfort zone to reach those dreams. So I'll host a live event and I'll have hundreds of people on there now. And it's like, that's the one thing I can do that day. It takes the energy, but it's helping me get closer to my dreams. It's helping other people in the same way. So don't let the introvertness stop you. If you have dreams, you need to chase them. Okay, so we all know Zoom. Zoom is how we all host things now. There are some others that I have tried and I don't really like them. I don't know about you, Javier, but I've tried the Google Teams, I've tried Voomly, I've tried all these other things.
I always come back to Zoom also.
Yeah, Zoom's just easy.
I agree.
And people know how to work it. So it's like you just send out a Zoom link and they know what to do. The way I would sign people up or have people get registered is just simply through Eventbrite. You can go in, create a free account on Eventbrite, throw together a free, simple event in which people can give you their email addresses when they sign up. So I don't have a fancy sales page. I don't have a fancy funnel going to it. I just create something that invites people to come join me on the Zoom platform. Okay, then the next piece of technology is what I would always do, especially when you're hosting virtual things, which is another glorious thing about hosting a live virtual workshop, is that yes, you can be live and you can impact people who are live, but then it's recorded. Now you can take that recording, post it on YouTube. I like to post it as an unlisted video. So that way you have to have a secret link to get access to it. So then you go back on your social media afterwards, and you go back in your email list, and you go back to your clients in your brick and mortar practice, and you say, hey, I hosted a workshop where I taught you how to read your own cholesterol panel. Would you like to see it? Comment below on social media or go to this YouTube, click on this YouTube link in your email list. And now you've got more eyes on something that you already did. So you're maximizing your time, you're maximizing your impact. Say a month down the road, you get somebody who reaches out and says, hey, I would like to learn more about what you do. Oh, perfect. You send them the link to the YouTube video. So it can be reused over and over and over again. Okay. I talked about going on an in-person event. You can do that. I would recommend virtual because you can reach a lot more people. The other negative feeling that people will get, especially as they start to enter this world, Javier, is, you know this, well, I don't have a big following. I don't think if I got on Zoom, I would be nervous that like only 1 or 2 people came on. It's okay. How many Zoom calls have you and I hosted where 1 or 2 people came on?
So many. And I always say this, it's and I think, I think at this point, most of the people who follow us might have heard this, but it's like anything that you do right for the first time, you're probably not going to be that good at it. And that's okay, right? It would be unreasonable for you to be good at something you haven't done before. And so what better time to start practicing than when you don't have a big following, right? Because imagine if you had 100, 1,000 people, 10,000 people for your first ever, live training, right? That'd be kind of scary, right? There's a lot of pressure there. And yeah, you might want to do good in front of all those people. But if you're just starting out, you have a smaller following, that is the perfect time to get started.
Yeah. And again, it's practice.
Yes.
The way I hosted Zoom calls in 2020 are not the way I host Zoom calls now. And the results I get from Zoom calls now are 100 times what I was getting when I was first practicing. But you got to practice. You got to start somewhere. You got to create your first chapter. Don't compare your first chapter to our 15 chapters in. No, and when I talk about, I don't want to go live on Zoom and have nobody attend. So can I just go live on social media? You can. You can go live on social media. You can take the cheap road out, is what I call it. But you're going to get very poor attendance on it live. And very few people will go to watch it on social media unless it's part of a group or a paid group or something. And here's the reason why. People get on social media to be entertained. They don't get on social media unless it's something specific for like something like this Facebook group where to learn or to grow their business or to become a better, healthy person. They just want something that's quick, easy. They can just keep scrolling. So what I would recommend is even if you host it on Zoom and don't invite anybody to it, that's fine. Post it on Zoom and record it, and then use that replay on YouTube as the secret link. But don't just take it live on social media and expect to have any results. You really won't have much. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Mm-hmm.
So don't take the cheap way out. Post it live on Zoom, whether you invite people or not. You just want to get comfortable first and then invite people. I would say invite people because you can get the feedback and the practice, and you talking to Zoom, versus talking to Zoom with other people will be different.
Yes.
Do it. And remember your why. Remember you're chasing after your dreams, and that's your why. Okay, that's step 3. So there's a technology you need to have to host the live virtual workshop.
It's so one thing I wanted to add that I hadn't actually thought about was, in the early stages, how easy it can be without needing a funnel, landing page. That Eventbrite component really stuck out to me because I think it's a great direction to go if it's, if you're just starting to do these for the first time and don't want to get too involved in the technology. So that's really cool.
Yeah, whether you don't even have to have a website for this. You don't even have to have anything on the back end. You just literally create a free Eventbrite link and boom, you can start getting patients, you can start getting clients, you can start educating, you can start growing your audience. Like, there's no reason why you can't start now. There's always a way. You got to find it. Okay, when you host a live event, this is some fun stuff, and I've learned things the hard way. The one thing I love to do is I always started off with energy. So that might be a song. Well, it always is a song, honestly. One that we can, pick up and get the groove to, get some energy going. Now, I, like many others, I am an introvert, and you won't catch me dancing on the dance floor in a party. That might be Javier and Marissa, but it ain't me. I will be dancing in my chair.
It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that.
So I always say this, like, look, if I can at least get with the groove, so can you. I'm an introvert too. At least give me some type of energy. And then you want to get the audience involved, especially on a Zoom call. You want to get them participating. And I have asked a lot of questions to do this whole jump inside the chat and let's get communicating back and forth. To take your audience and get them involved, do not ask anything personal. We're all healthcare. We might say, why are you here today? What health complaints are you worried about? Nobody wants to tell a bunch of strangers in a Zoom chat feed about stuff. Well, so what I would do is I would ask a question that's non-judgmental. So even inside my call today, with practitioners who have been on it for a month and a half together, I said, I want you to tell me what your guess would be of the temperature outside. The temperature outside your house right now, what would you guess it to be? Everybody gets in and guesses because it's non-judgmental. So start off with a question that will make it stupid simple. One of them for patients I like to use is, where are you located? And then you can find out where people are at. Okay, that's the first 5 minutes or so. You're going to get the energy up. You're going to get them involved in the chat room. Now, I will add this too. When you're running a song on Zoom, you take the YouTube, like I run a YouTube song. I share my audio through the Zoom call, but I don't hit record until after the song is over. The reason why is because when you go to take that recording and upload it to YouTube, if you have this song on there, it will get flagged for copyright. So don't hit record till after the song is over. Same thing with live streaming onto Facebook or another platform. Don't live stream it until the song is over. And then another fun instance with step 3 is to call people out, comment them by name. Call people out by their name. Welcome, Javier. Welcome, Marissa. Welcome, Steve. Welcome, John. Welcome. People want to hear their name. It makes it feel personal. So don't be afraid to call them out by their name. Then, once you got the whole energy going, you got them involved, now you can start teaching. And if you're hosting a 60-minute workshop, I would keep that teaching moment to like 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. Don't want to spend the whole time teaching, just give them enough as a taster of what you know and something that they can implement right away. Step 5 is the hardest step. But that's where it comes into practicing, where you want to teach them, or you want to practice how to sell from that workshop. So it doesn't matter if you have 3 people on or 300 people on, you need to practice this. And the way I think about it is you want to create a bridge from what you taught into that next opportunity. So one of the bridges I would create would be something like, how many of you just learned more about your blood work than you ever had before? Let me know in the chat. Yes, 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 yes. What if you could transform all the blood work you have into real answers so you can stop the guessing game about what's ailing you? Maybe you could even eliminate that huge cupboard of supplements that don't really work. Would you be interested? Yes, 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 yes. You've just got their permission to, quote, sell without knowing that they're being sold to. And it comes natural. Okay, sales is service. You're just serving them at a higher level. And when people pay, they pay attention. So selling is a good thing. You're going to take that educational piece, create the bridge between the educational piece and the promotion. And then step number 6 is going to be talking about that, whether it be a free consultation, whether it be, for me, it was a $495 lab consult. Now it would probably be a $3,500 program that's all inclusive. Once you invite them into that next level, give them some time to take the step. It could even be email me. Since we're talking about no websites, no funnels here, simply shoot me an email if you're interested. Then you put your email in the chat box. Like, it can be that simple. And then once you've done that, now you have 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to answer their questions. So that's how you host the workshop itself. Then, like I said, you're going to promote that replay again and again and again and again, because you just did the work. And if it went well, hopefully it does go well, that you can continue to promote it and continue to get clients through the door. So I use the 4 workshops, the 4 live 3-day challenges once a month last year for all 4 of the first months. And then I had a full schedule, but I didn't need to do them anymore. But you can literally fill your entire practice with a live workshop. And that's how I've always done it. And that's how I'll probably always do it.
I love this. This was so great, Kylie. Thank you so much for sharing this with everyone. I just, I, like you, am very introverted. And for some reason, doing these events, whether virtual or in person, it kind of completely erases that introversion.
It does.
And so I think I think, like you said, for a lot of people, it can be it can seem a little bit scary or overwhelming. But I just love how you've broken this down so simply, where there's literally no excuse not to do this, right? And I think what you said is so key, right? Getting past the fear, because this literally is the key to unlock the door into everything that, all of our listeners want on the other side, whether it's more financial freedom, location freedom, being able to help and impact more people. Like, this is how you do it. It's obviously you've been very successful with it. We used to do workshops for the physical practice as well, and they just work really, really well. People, and what I think I love about it the most too is the fact that you're able to provide valuable information where people feel like they're getting so much benefit out of it, because they are. And it just actually makes the entire process of business and asking for money on the other side that much easier, because you feel good about the value that you've been able to provide. And so anyway, I'm all for it. I love it. Thank you so much for that. That was great.
Yep.
Right now, Kylie, for those that are interested in learning more, I know that you specifically also host a CBC Complete Blood Count intensive workshop. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what that is and who it's for, because I'm sure we might have some people that are interested in that realm as well. Maybe let everyone know where they can find out more about you and your work.
So the CBC intensive, I'm actually hosting a live one on May 23rd.
Okay.
Speaking of live workshops, you want to come see how it's done, come see how it's done. May 23rd from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's a 3-hour intensive. We're doing the first 80 minutes will be all about the 5 most important blood work markers inside the CBC. And if you're thinking, you know, I'm a nutritionist and I'm competing with every other nutritionist in the market and just talking about food, you want that thing to set you aside, blood work is a great way. If you're a chiropractor like myself, wanting to go virtual and you don't really know what avenue to take with as far as patient helping or helping out patients, is also a great avenue. So if you ultimately, this workshop is if you have clients who keep getting told that their blood work is normal, yet they feel like crap, this workshop can be for you. Because you're going to take their blood work that they already have and convert it, like you said, Javier, in the beginning, into real answers, healing, and hope. Bypassing a lot of functional medicine lab tests and other modalities and just talking about their nutrition, you can do a whole lot more with their blood work. So come join us May 23rd from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. The first half is about the CBC. The second half will be about how to actually utilize that in practice. It's one thing to learn the clinical side. It's a whole nother, as you understand, to learn the business side of it all.
Totally.
So we'll do that. And you can sign up at drkylieburton.com/CBC-intensive.
Beautiful. Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much. This was really great. I learn something every time, and so I really appreciate you being on here tonight and just
Eventbrite, that's the trick.
Eventbrite, yeah. Look, it's the little things. It's like genius, so simple. We complicate things so much. Oh, awesome, Kylie. Well, is there before you wrap up, is there anything else that I should have asked but didn't that you'd like to share?
I'm just going to share my one rule.
Okay, let's hear it.
My one rule is to start before you're ready.
Yes.
If you wait till you're ready, you're too late.
Oof.
Just start before you're ready. And that can be with anything. Just have the guts to do it. Like I started my podcast in 2020. I had never listened to a podcast episode before ever.
Wow.
I just said, you know what? I'm going to start this. Turns out it's ran almost everything I've done since then with my live workshops. So you never know what will happen when you just start, but you got to start. That's
so huge. That is so huge. What is that podcast name, by the way?
The podcast is called Beyond the Diagnosis with Dr. Kylie.
Beyond the Diagnosis. Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks again. This was a blast. I deeply appreciate it. Amanda says you're so inspiring. Awesome, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
hey,
Amanda.
Larry, hey, Laura. Let's see who else we got on here. Hey, Marla. Awesome. Beautiful.
Just get started, ladies.
Yes.
I got a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a baby on the way. Don't let it stop you. Just get started.
That's so good. Yes. I feel like that is something that, and it's hard for me because I could only imagine, right? Like what it's like to raise kids and have a business at the same time. Because, you know, I've heard that growing a business is like growing a baby. And so I could only imagine, but at the same time, I see people like you, and other women who do both and who are able to figure it out and become stronger because of it. And it's just amazing. And
I think it keeps us mamas insane. Like,
yes.
I'm in Utah where it's like antidepressant is the #1 pill people pop.
Wow.
These depressants. And okay, I don't love the culture, but anyways. But it's like we have all these kids and we have nothing to look forward to. Because it's just we're stay-at-home moms, and no. I'm going to have a baby at the end of August, probably maybe even on Javier's birthday on September 1st. And I will be back working the next week. I can sit here with my baby nursing on the ground, like sleeping right here, doing my thing. And so it doesn't stop me, and it shouldn't stop anybody else either. Yeah. Wow. So,
well, thank you so much. That was a great way to end it. I super appreciate it again. And yeah, for everyone that's just jumping on now, please go ahead and rewatch this. Dr. Kylie spilled some golden nuggets that you definitely want to check out and watch again. So yeah, hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.
Guys.
Bye. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for watching the show. I know your time is super valuable, and I know that you're here to learn how to grow a successful practice. So I have something special just for you. If you are a health expert who is in business or aspiring to be, and you're curious about how to grow a profitable, impactful practice, you're going to want to pay attention. Because as a person who is watching the show, I want you to win. So I've created a bundle of resources exclusively for those who are watching the Practice Revolution. So if you are tired of trying to figure out this game of business, marketing, and sales all on your own, and you're ready to implement what's already proven to work rather than reinventing the wheel, you're going to want to send us a private message on Instagram at The Practice Revolution. And simply just let us know that you watched this show, and we'll personally hand over $7,000 worth of trainings, resources, and coaching that is available only for those who are watching this show on YouTube. So if you want to know how to increase your income, impact, and build a practice that works for the lifestyle that you want and that serves your family at the highest level, send us a private message on Instagram at The Practice Revolution. Do it now so you can win big in your practice and in your life. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next show.